Hey guys, Corey and Dave here with Rooted Outdoors. Just wanted to do a quick recording on a webinar we're doing. This is kind of how we communicate actually during the week when we can't get together. Dave and I live about half an hour apart, so we all have businesses we run and family lives and things like that. So in order for us to communicate with what's going on with Rooted Outdoors, this is how we do it. What we're doing tonight is we're going over some of our properties as we get ready. We're getting close to the season. Today's September 1st, so it's exciting. We've got a couple weeks left till our whitetail season opens here for archery in PA, and we're going to be going over some of our properties, and I'll let Dave kind of jump in and tell you, what specifically we look at when we're looking at a property. But, looking at topo map and marking where stands are, where we think deer are bedding, obviously where we think they're, where we think the food source is, different things that we look at the map. And so, what we'll do is we'll pull these maps out and we'll look for the right days to hunt, based on the wind, and we'll be able to pull these maps out in the field also, before we get into the woods. And so we kind of refresh our path in, what the terrain looks like, and all that good stuff. We really, really got into doing that this year, and hopefully it's going to make a big difference. And Dave, I don't know if you want to jump in now and tell us what we're looking at here.
Yeah, so we just go to your Google Maps, or I use Google Earth for this one, and just use a snipping tool to take a picture of the map, and then we can start to draw on it. So we'll start to draw, everything out that we need. So I didn't get into too much detail on this map, but, we have 3 stands, so you have a 1, 2, and a 3. Then we'll start marking other things. P is where we're going to park. And sometimes there's more than one option because you want to access certain stands a different way. So you definitely want to mark those. And then a B for bedding area. S is a big swamp, so also bedding area. This property, the food source is these big fields, which is pretty easy to tell. So what we'll start doing is we can start mapping the deer movement. So I didn't really do that on this one, but maybe I'll grab a blue pen and say they're out in this field. Maybe they work their way down to here, back to the swamp. Maybe they work their way through here, back to this bedding area, or whatever that might look like. So we'll start to map this out a little bit and see where the deer are moving. Then we'll look at specific stands and see which wind we need to hunt for those stands and whether we can hunt them in the morning or the afternoon. Some stands are just morning stands, some are just afternoon stands. And then they all have a specific wind that works. So we'll map all of that out. We'll have a list of all the stands and when we can hunt them. And then, when we're looking to hunt, we'll look at our list, and then it makes it pretty easy. Also to go along with this, just to make it even more complicated, you start looking at, trail camera pictures, when deer are moving by, just to add to more of the information that you have. So this is something that we do, and we'll constantly be updating this throughout the season based on what we're seeing when we're in the stand. This is just a basic map that we have here, and this will fill up with a ton of notes by the time we're done. This is just a starting point for us. But yeah, that's kind of what we do to get prepared for the season.
Constant reference tool. One of the things that this property has specifically that I started really learning a lot about actually from Dave last year is how important sanctuary is in a property. I've heard the term before. I've hunted since I've been 10 years old and just never really paid attention to it. But Dave, why don't you tell them what a sanctuary is and how important that is to the property?
Yeah, so a sanctuary is essentially an area of the property where nobody really goes into ever, and that could be by accident. Like in this case, this swamp that we have up in the left is almost impossible to get through. So that's a natural sanctuary that no one goes into because you really can't get in there. And then the B is a bedding area that the people that we hunt the property with, we decided that we're going to keep that a sanctuary as well and not go in there. And it's essentially just a bedding area and a place for deer to go and be safe. If you don't really have a sanctuary on your property, it's hard to hold deer on that property because they're going to go find somewhere else that's really safe. So it's an area that pretty much under no circumstance that you go into ever, because you want to keep it safe for the deer, and you want to hold the deer on your property as much as you can. And having a designated sanctuary area can really help that.
And Dave, wouldn't you agree that, we talk about this all the time. I think one of the mistakes that a lot of guys make, and we made actually a few times last year, was that we weren't hunting the edges, where we actually pushed too far into the woods. And a lot of times you really honestly don't realize that you're disturbing the deer, but you never even are actually going to be aware that you did disturb them. You'll just wonder why you never see them. And so this year, one of the things that we're going to focus on more is hunting edges. So, not even getting close to that sanctuary. We don't want the deer to know. And honestly, being so aware that if we're on that property, we want to make sure that at no time does that wind take our scent even into that sanctuary at all. So when we're entering, you're constantly paying attention. The wind can shift, obviously. It's wind, right? It's nature, so things can happen. As you're walking, the wind shifts. And we're prepared to do that. You got to be able to know that you got to back out. If things change quickly, or if you're in the stand, you got to get out. You got to know that you got to get out. You can mess it up for the whole year. And I know it sounds crazy. There's a lot of details and things, but that's why a lot of guys don't see mature buck. And quite frankly, that's why, growing up, I didn't know a lot of stuff. I just learned over the last couple of years why I know I haven't seen a lot of mature deer. Last couple of years has been a lot better, and just paying attention to things like that.
Yeah. So a lot of times you'll have a sanctuary and the deer are in there. So, it gets later in the season, you start to get antsy and they're in there. So you want to push in thinking that, I'm just going to get on top of these deer. And sometimes that can work. And there is a place for that. You never say never to anything, especially with hunting. There's so much variance with things that are happening. But for the most part, if you push in, let's say that we pushed into the swamp a little bit, thinking that we're going to start to get on them, they're just going to push further back and go somewhere else. And that's just all there is to it. So really hunting the edges, especially during the rut, that's the great equalizer in hunting, because they'll start to work their way out, start to push in the area that they normally wouldn't push into. And that's really when you have an opportunity to catch some of those mature bucks.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and specifically in Pennsylvania, if you guys didn't know, we hunt primarily Pennsylvania right now. But Pennsylvania, and we're not just saying this because we're definitely not proud of the fact that it's really hard to hunt whitetail in Pennsylvania, but it's just a fact. There's a lot of hunters out there. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of public land that's pressured, and the fact is, it's really difficult to kill a mature deer in Pennsylvania. It's gotten a lot better over the last 8-10 years. We have antler restrictions now. See a lot more bigger deer, but Pennsylvania is really, really difficult state to hunt whitetail. So, we kind of don't know any different. So we just kind of adapt to the the things that happen every year, and learning from those experiences, and just get more, more aware of some of the things that we should be doing, all the little details that go in everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So we just wanted to hop on here real quick and just kind of give you guys just a little glimpse into kind of what we do to get prepared for the season. Before we jump off, in the next couple of days, we want to give away a Rooted Outdoors t-shirt. So we'll kind of give the details of what you need to do to enter into that. So just keep an eye on our Facebook page. That should be up on the next couple of days. But yeah, we wish you all the best of luck. Keep us posted on how you guys do this season. I know we're super excited for the season. So Corey, I don't know if you have anything else you want to add.
Yeah, definitely, keep us posted as we go through the season. We'd love to hear, as you guys know, we're all about the whole entire story. So, we love to hear your stories out there, whether you're killing deer or you're not. We want to hear your experiences, what kinds of things you're running into. Last year we had a really, really crazy rut, and it's not in a good way. Just had one of those years where we just didn't have much activity at all during the rut, where we were hunting in our spots. This year it looks like it might be another late rut. So I like to see things coming in, especially from our area, when guys are seeing deer movement and things like that. Help each other. This is an awesome community out here in the outdoor world, and we should be helping each other.
Yeah.
So, good luck to everybody, and God bless you.
All right. Thanks, guys.